Alqubit, IT as an expression of art. Alqubit, IT as an expression of art.
Hello world. This live production seems seems that there is some major resistance from the universe. It cannot be started. So I had a little think with let me see how I will proceed. I developed some major anxiety with this live production. It's always failing. I had I recovered whatever was possible to recover. I have the from the previous live production. Everything is available, but this super source emulation that I'm doing in OBS wasn't recorded on my Atom Mini. Unfortunately, with OBS that I don't love particularly OBS, but since I not anymore with Atom Mini Extreme, I had to invent the substitute, and I have developed this super source emulation that is absolutely the same. But my workflow got complicated at the level that is so fragmented. There was control surface of Stream Deck failure. There was page failure. And I'm struggling from a couple of months with this fragmentation. And I started to live producing in 4K upscaling. The results are very good, but I'm having very limited upstream bandwidth. Only 5.4 megabits per second. And you can see what I'm struggling. I have super optimized within the range of the highest range in order to extract every bit out of the system. I have set now we cannot change anything, but I want to show what I have optimized and how. In the first thing, in order to preserve, I'm producing in 4 to 2 10-bit, but only these settings is preserving 4 to 2. So I had to put it color format internal at 16-bit as ingesting the signal. Set everything here. This is the big biggie that I have set very rigorous range, a little bit like the slices, network slices of Atom Mini. I am operating only between 4,850 kilobits per second and 4,450 kilobits per second, because it tends to go upper than the limit. It doesn't stay there. It constantly pushes the boundaries further. Everything is the max. I'm upscaling from where? I have set it. Now I will arrive, hopefully. Video. The base canvas that is arriving directly from my Atom Mini. 1080p, 25 frames per second. I am upscaling, and one thing that is important that can solve many issues that you might have with OBS optimizing. After that, I will speak. This is 10 minutes only to review my improvement of the workflow. After that, I will speak again about the books. The setting here is more than enough to set the upscaling at any level. But you need to set after that, not upscaling, but the resolution 4K. So here is the upscaling. 36 samples. Everything is set here. After that, the output. With the subscription that I have with the Restream, I can only streaming in H.264. You see, I am pushing it here now. Recently I have done, but you can even not specify rescale up output. You can set it no upscaling, but here it needs to be 4K. But I wanted to overdo it. Probably that's why to fish. Recording. The same. You can do here as it is with the recording. Rescale disabled 4K, and it is doing directly 4K as it is already done with the video settings, general video settings. Everything is 4K basically. And today I have said, because when I had to migrate to OBS in order to implement the super source emulation, I had to, before I was doing with the both at the Mini Pro and Extreme, I was always having double recording, complete recording of the program, plus UV 10-bit uncompressed. I've had locally 3 copies, one super high extreme that was doing 7 gigs at minute. Every minute was generating 7 gig point 2 of file. With UV uncompressed, I was doing it with Intensity Pro 4K input and recording with Media Express, that is here, with this one. And now my Intensity Pro is not available. I don't want to break anything. I will not even try. And I was recording super duper I was generating something like a terabyte and half on one production, and the quality is extremely good. Can be edited very easily in DaVinci Resolve, but once I lost my Atte Mini Extreme, I had to adapt. I lost the double. I had to use my Intensity Pro inside OBS. I lost the super quality copy. I lost the copy. I had to fragment the workflow through OBS. And what I have done, that today I have solved it, what I have done with OBS. The streaming is, I'm using here. Where am I? I need to check now. I have the anxiety to check what is happening. Apologize. I'm recording now and I will relearn to double check constantly what is happening. You see, I had the same thing the other day, on 7th of March. Everything was no dropping, but there are multiple issues. My workflow optimization that didn't have resilience. Okay, this is one thing. But there is something today. I haven't changed the key with Restream. Today has failed 3 times. I was just at 10 and 15. I have programmed and the key was failing, and the launching of the event on LinkedIn has failed. I had to delete it, and I regenerated the keys, and now it's working every time. What happens, only Restream knows. And there is something with the network. Even though I'm super testing what my little bandwidth that in this I've had years ago as a company, very costly, but the bandwidth here is very, very ridiculous. I'm having now super high bandwidth in respect of years ago. I had only 1000 kilobits in upstream and 3000 kilobits in downstream. Now I'm with residential, with Poste Italiane, and it was always stable. But what is lately is happening that during the weekends, there are a couple of hours that what was supposed to work doesn't work. Even though I'm testing and the bandwidth is available, if I'm doing restreaming and everything, it is failing constantly. So I will avoid to do my live production during the weekend. Let's hope that this is solving the issue. The other problem that I had, that I have lost in January 2-3 hours, and I was grieving about the losing my at the mini extreme, and I have done the end-to-end optimization of the stream. I have seen that it is working, but the recording, if I am doing contemporary recording and streaming, the streaming is consuming only 1 milliseconds on rendering frame. The recording, I have set it in important settings in order to have a good quality substitution of my previous, for certain degree, obviously, of my previous uncompressed recording. I set now H265, and it is very good. I have tested it abundantly because the issue with the recording in OBS is that if you don't set it fine-tuning, you cannot use this recording never ever inside DaVinci Resolve. It is skipping frames. It's getting crazy. And what is the absolute must? You don't have never ever to set automatically remux to MP4. If this is set, your file is absolutely impossible to use inside DaVinci. Skipping frame, there is no reference about frames per second, nothing. You cannot use it. Needs to be disabled. And the upscaling good. And I'm recording now. Today what I have optimized, I have played a little bit. It is 10-bit, main 10, H265, with injections in 422. That is my entire signal is 422 end-to-end. At the mini is recording 420, 8-bit. But the signal is 422 if you can use it in recording externally. 10-bit. The signal end-to-end should be that way. And there is a big difference when I'm recording, even with today with super duper high, hyperdeck high. It is 8-bit, and I'm using Cine 2 Pro color profile on my Sony cameras with super personalization, with all the levels completely invented by myself through testing. And if it is 8-bit, it crashes a little bit the highlights. It is noticeable. Even the signal, if it is 8-bit 422, is much better than the signal 420, even if it is 10-bit. I'm finding this, and I have fine-tuned today. Those aspects here are very important to not crashing the recording. I have relatively old but gold NVIDIA Quadro P4000. I'm using it because I can stay inside those specifics and I don't have budget now to get a 400 or something. I want something that can stay inside my HP DL 380 G9 without reinventing the wheel. Maximum 100 watts. This is working pretty well for my generation of the files when I need from DaVinci Resolve, and I have P4 that eventually I can use, but now I don't have free slot, the PCI slot. I prefer to have PCI NVMe hard disk to use. So this is the longer description. Those are important. What is happening when my system is super performant. I have Tux Xeon Enterprise with 16 core each one. Now I have one slot of the memory that has crashed, is giving me an error, but usually it's 256. I will need to dismount, clean everything to see if it is actually the memory or there is some oxidation. But anyway, it is 224 gigabyte now. There is no issue with the only thing that I have found, and the most important thing, my hard disk on which I am recording is this enterprise disk that is PCI Express 3, 8 lines. It is extremely performant. It is in read 1 million IOPS in random write. They don't even produce this kind of hard disk of SSD anymore. What does it mean? I can write for 5 years 8 terabytes every day on this hard disk of 1 terabyte and 6. I can overwrite it 8 times every day for 5 years, and it is not going out of life. It is extremely super resilient and super performant. With this hard disk, what I want to say that it wasn't the performance of the hard disk, but it is the only thing that is can be this NVIDIA P4000 Quadro. It has 2 engines for encoding H.265, but it doesn't have the engine for decoding H.265. So it is completely covered. And I'm doing 2 processes of encoding, actually. One on T264 for the upscaling. That is nothing. It is consuming something like 40%. But the writing on the disk, the encoding on this is eating other the same amount, 45%. So what is happening? Here is beginning to lose a lot of frames on the recording, doing a lot of it is impossible to record. So you need to fine tune, super fine tune. Today I have spent some significant amount of time, and I have obtained stable configuration, variable bit rate within 25,600 kilobits, and 100,000 kilobits. But it is going fluctuating, and I have seen that based on the colors or how the image is moving, it is rising. If I reach, probably I'm reaching the hardware limit of my GPU. That's why it is. And I didn't want to use the recording locally. And I had this um, network failing that wasn't network failing. A year ago, Restream has done the same thing. During my 25 years presentation of Alqubit, it dropped it killed the, and no one knows. So there are strange things. The key, the synchronization with LinkedIn, and so on. But let's ignore that. I have set finally today my workflow to be resilient, stable. I have triple validated inside DaVinci Resolve. The file is perfect. It can be managed. The sound is perfect with this speed. And the other is the copy from Restream that once the streaming is started, it is recording the perfect copy of my stream at 25 frames per second. And I'm having here another copy of the now I don't want to mess my preparation here. With Atem Mini, I'm producing Lee, but there is pointless on Atem Mini except for last resort, because I don't have anything from that. I am having directly what I'm having on Atem Mini. I'm having directly the image sheet. I'm pointing things on my desktop, but it's not included inside the program. So the last program has been done it that way. What I can say, I never backing off. I'm persist until I haven't done. Many years ago, when I had I had to repeat. I already set it in different programs, but the context is always the same. I had to repeat when I came to Italy at 20 years in 91 on January. I had to repeat my entire high school that wasn't recognized. And I started as a private, working in different restaurants, night by day. I was repairing Denon professional audio just to survive. And I had to repeat 5 years of the high school. The first 4 years I have done as a private student, shrinking in a couple of years, basically. But the last exam was needed to do into the technical school. It is Georgia in Milan. And what year was 95? And I have prepared what I have prepared, but I was so far from the truth because I came in Italy with zero language. And there was a school that basically you pay the school in order to go forward as a private student. But those private schools are absolutely trash. And I needed to work constantly. It was unfeasible to do normal, to return to school and every day. I had done somehow 4 years into, and I'm presenting in 1995 July to do the exam to get the diploma, final diploma in electronics. I've got crushed in so horrible way that I was super ashamed. I was profoundly ashamed. And this failure, for many reasons, but you cannot prepare for the exam by yourself without the good language. I was so ashamed, and fortunately the school was regular school by the government, everything. It is Georgie, and it was with evening school. After the super crush of this exam, I immediately signed up on this school. The last year that I was completely able and in condition to sign up, the last year of the high school diploma in electronics. I signed it up. I was working in the school was between 7 p.m. in the evening until 11, more or less. At 200 meters was the restaurant where I was working, and I have modified all the. This is only to do to give the context of the resilience and never give up. Now I will arrive. When I was finishing the school, I was with my Honda CVR, something like a very sport car. I was taking immediately going into the restaurant. From 11:30, I was starting to work till 4 a.m. From 4 a.m. I was going speedy driving in my house, starting immediately to learn until 8:30 a.m. I was sleeping from 8:30 a.m. till 2 p.m. Waking up, going like crazy into the Denon audio professional to repair there, to work from around let's say 3 p.m. till 6:30 p.m. And my day was at the 5 minutes range that I wasn't able to do to delay to. This was a year of maximum resilience, what I have been through. And starting with the school, with the language that I cannot, at the fifth year of language, you cannot learn mathematics and everything and electronics. It was extremely hard. I started in September, October. I was failing everywhere. I wasn't able to do anything, absolutely. I was so behind. And at the end of October of 95, having began this year of studying after the failing of the exam, there was inspiration one day, dead or alive. I will take the maximum possible. I will not giving up. I will not backing off. I'm doing everything. Whatever it needs to be done, I will do it. Even if I have to die, I will not. So I started with this kind of push or drive that you have only in few periods in your entire life. And this was that year 95, 96, and the last my 5 years of my life that has been struggle after struggle. I have done the miracle, the impossible. I have never went out for anything. I was only sleeping, working, studying, learning, sleeping, studying, learning for a year. I was so well prepared that at the exam next year in 96, in July, June, July, I was beyond prepared. I was so good prepared. I was crushing it, how I was prepared. And here are the books. That was the period when I developed this pulsion to expand the books the enormous way. If I needed one book in electronics, I bought 10 on different aspects in order to extract the best of the best. I was super prepared. And I had before my old in Bulgarian, I have done the first high school. It was in electronics and on the high power electric systems. That's why I ended up in my first job was in Kozlodui and the nuclear power station on the system of the security of the power control system of the reactor. Very, very super duper good job on the computational system, basically. And I ended up for that school that I already have done. So electronics, digital electronics and everything was for me like nothing. But I have struggled a lot with Italian, and I've got the maximum at the time was 60. I've got 60. From failing the first 2-3 months, I've got 60. They gave me 58 for the reason that in Italy, they said, you haven't done your normal path. You have done even though you already have even though I cannot give you 60. I will give you 58. But this was one of the days of when you are ready to die, basically, of the happiness and sense of accomplishment and everything. I am saying this that even though I have from the super success for 20 years at 200,000 per year, um, the last 5 years has been quite challenging with the change of everything, my change and crashing of the business, trying to restart it. But I have never gave up, and I am here to redo my third version of my live production about the books. And I've got crashed on the other day that I have discovered only after the I'm having here. If I can show, I have here without breaking anything. On my stream deck, I have extracted because I'm teaching the others how to do resilient broadcast systems. I have OBS stream with real time, how what those I have basically those in live in real time bit rates and how long, and if there is any congestion, it becomes red, and I have the alert. But what happening? I had the control surface, the little one doesn't work, work and doesn't work, work and doesn't work. So I have different pages that I constantly need to swap, and having done 10 live production without any issues, I lost the attention to validate if everything is well. And I failed miserably when I have seen that, and I have recovered what I have published with Opus Clips immediately has been the recovering of what has been recorded on Restream. But I have the original record, but it is without anything like that, without my pages, without anything. It is pointless. So we can start from here. And it was supposed to be 10 minutes, 43 minutes of intro. But it is for the fun. And my original recording that I've heard even other people saying that I'm missing the self-confidence. I don't miss the self-confidence. It was cannot even share what I've been through. It was on all the levels so much struggle and challenges that it is miracle that in this video I am alive. And with all of this, I put myself in front of the camera and I have produced something, and it is good. What was the issue at the beginning? My way of doing video has changed dramatically with the first live production that I have done. It is psychological thing. When I doing for the audience, I'm entering into the part of mine is open freestyle. I don't prepare. I'm preparing about the argument. I'm preparing the live production, everything, the music, the background, the system, and the arguments that I'm preparing. But you need to enter into the zone in order to perform, and this is very important because at the beginning, let's Hello, welcome again to Alqubit. My name is Borislav Atachev and I'm the
dead
founder
because
of
it is
Alqubit.
very hard period.
This
Not
will be
because
the
I'm
first,
missing
video
self-confidence.
on completely different from all.
But when you talk into the camera, that this has been done on the camera without any connection to anyone. You are thinking what I need to say, it is so much tension that I cannot do it in front of the camera. For me, it's much easier in live production. And this was my principal live
Previous videos.
video production struggle. Plus, my
same.
content server, DL 380G9 was so front of me. I had to do so heavy noise reduction. I lost the audio. I exported from my. It was a nightmare, this production. And I have invested something more than a week, maybe even 10 days to do everything again and again and again and again. And I haven't gave up. And I produce it, whatever it is. But I have seen that even the big names on live production and everything, they're starting like me. And being maybe the third video that I have ever done with a miserable, inexistent budget that I had not to eat in order to produce it, it was crazy. So the result is never give up, insist, persist, redo again and again. I don't care if you if the society is don't consider my work. I'm not living about society. I'm living about my realization. I have done it. Yeah, it is. The moment has been very tough.
The same.
But
you cannot learn the protocol actually from this.
The audio, everything is what it is. Let's close it and let's start with magnificent books. Never give up. I don't leave. I'm here. I will persist. And to return inside my scope of today, brief presentation OBS workflow, the first hour. The best TCP AP books that I will repeat everything what I have said many times. It will be a little bit, but what I can, I'm doing my best. I will continue to do my best. Where is it? This. I have invested massively in books. This love about the books I developed. I was born in Bulgaria during the socialism. What was there as experience that I will never forget this experience. Every year the books about the school were free.
and you have to go to the library and order the books, everything, and they give you those 20 books new with this smell of books and with this thing heavy, and you know that there is a knowledge that we will learn during the year. It was super exciting for me. I love it to study, even though I was very heavily bullied at the school, so I had issues there. But I love it to learn, and this I freed of bully once I destroyed one at 10 years. After that, no one even tried. And this love about books is what I have done during the last 20 years. The massive investment I'm having there, but I will be not able to show. On the library app, the absolute first technology books that I bought were Windows 95 Resource Kit 1 and 2, two books that was for me was like paying for a house. What was the at the time my budget? And Internet Explorer later on, the version 4, the resource kit in order to create personalized version of Internet Explorer. And after that, Cisco, everything, TCP, the first certification, this book. Now I show it. And I began. Once I started my activity that I was making for the Italy, considering a lot of money, I had the budgeted every year. I was investing something like 5,000, and every year I was buying between 150 to 200 books every month, 10, 20 every month on technologies of everything what I needed, not that I buy it, put it away. All the new products, as everyone, you start by learning products. After that, you learning technology, and your world is opening. I don't have the tele light. I'm always looking at the other side. And I invested massively. Started university. I started immediately after I've got the diploma in Italy 5860 in Politecnico of Milan, electronic engineering. But after 2 years of struggling economically and having to work until 4 a.m. into the restaurant, and the morning having to wake up and rise at 7:30, I need to take the metro to go into the Politecnico because I have done 2 years. I've got so depleted of any energy. I got completely crushed, and I had to stop. It wasn't feasible for me with I support myself and to the invest the energy necessary. And I have decided I will interrupt, and I will start with job in networking. The starting of internet has been big fortunate event. Without money, I had the resilience of the universe even there. In after having done the diploma, I permitted myself to buy my first PC. and then I didn't have the money. No bank was giving me the money. I risked everything, and I bought my first PC. For 8 months, I didn't left this PC night and day, night and day, night and day, night and day. Formatting every day 3-4 times Windows 95 NT4 in beta, and I learned to do IT professional, IT engineer basically, and the basics of the networking. And with my background in electronics, I started immediately in general networking Italia with very proficient way and methodology. And I started learning, testing, investing. From 2004, I was working in Vodafone. I started my little business, Alqubit, with few clients that the old company has went bankrupt because invested very badly into LAN and games instead of networking. They crashed. And my old clients that I was working with them, they followed me. And I started immediately from day one, profitable business, always every year growing 10, 15, 20% for the first maybe 12 years. Was my problem was too much work how to finish it and don't have to rise my level of gaining in order to not die of taxes. And good problem to have, but it is exhausting. I was working night, day. I was this kind of life you're doing only once in your life for 10 years, 15 years. After that, you either die or change your lifestyle because it is impossible to drain yourself on any level this way. But having a lot of budget available, cash, a lot of cash. I was investing. I have invested 250 in 20 years in my own infrastructure to do every validation about my clients, and other 50,000 in books, and other 150,000 in 10 years, 2 or 3 times on conferences in United States, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, New York, San Francisco. And this has been my life for 15 years. I have invested, mega invested, overly invested. And it has been a good return because you don't have to compete and complete what society is expecting. I was moving laterally within the system of the society because I was gaining so much experience and knowledge that it is impossible. There is no certification on this world that can give you the knowledge that you're doing with your own data center, your own books that you're doing research and development, your own validation with your own clients, that you building end-to-end systems, services, and complete validation. That I have every service that I have done and system, I have built it end-to-end. This has been with my own investment in order to being completely independent and changing my role constantly. Project manager, networking, storage, infrastructure, security, firewalls, exchange since the beginning till the end, integration. I have done things that in 10 lifetimes is impossible to do. I was working and I was not having any breaks and resistance against me in order not to do it. And this is excellent place to be. And it is impossible to do it into the corporate. No way that you can do what I was doing in 1 year into the corporate in 10 years. No way. That is not exaggeration. That is reality. And I missed my thought, Sutton. I was saying that this kind of investment gave me a very high level of awareness and deep dive into the technology. In 2006, I started with having available unlimited, theoretically unlimited caching that was arriving constantly. I have started in University of Milan, security systems and networking. I've been for a lot of years subscribed. Still, probably I lost the last year the possibility to go forward. But what and now I will match what I was wanted to say, that I didn't need to complete the university. What I was needed to extract the methodology, the right books, and to develop the knowledge that I need. And every book that was required for the university, I have exploded the matrix of 100 other books done by the same author or other even better or similar, with very high level that is necessary to understand networking, TCP, another technology that was storage area networking and everything. So I have this list. I have many, around 1,000 books. I thrown away the last year's, the first, at very early stage of the end of 90s, starting of 2000. Cisco, all the products of Microsoft. I freed myself a couple of tons of books, and I still have a lot. And those the very core of the TCP/IP are never getting old. And I will start now. I started my first certification with TCP/IP with Microsoft with this good book. And as I have said the other day, it is the concept of the superficial concept of what is expected for one IT engineer about TCP/IP, ISO, OSI, TCP, routing, addressing, subnetting, naming resolution, and everything. And this is very superficial. It is pointless, basically. But when you're starting, this is very hard to learn. It seems like you are discovering the new world. And I've got it at the first attempt. And this has been very good learning at the time. And I've got this plus all the resource kits that I have invested the world in all the possible, those from my years at the beginning back know what is the technology books of Microsoft 25 years ago. There was absolutely impossible to learn anything. There was 90% marketing, speaking badly of the previous version, speaking miracles of the this version next one. There was so badly done. Only resource kits were good when was in the TechNet subscription that was giving you actual knowledge. And from 2006 with University of Milan, I started here at the books. This is webcam completely. There is no colors. There is no cinematic look. It is horrible, but this is what I'm having now. And those books that I started to buy and to invest and to learn in University of Milan was required I'm here. One of the very bad books, Internet Working with TCP/IP, Douglas Comer. A brick of book that is, it is underlined in. I have learned so much, that I spent years behind. It is so tough, so highly academic, pointless book, almost pointless. You cannot connect the dots with this book. I hate this book. There is maybe a couple of chapters that is done. It is a madness, this book. I will show you now the original version. And it is required massively into the university of all around the world. Plus another one that I hate completely. It is the worst book that I can have ever learned from. So this is the edition in Italian. This is the original version. Internet Working with TCP/IP, Principle, Protocols, and Architecture. I have the 6th edition. Maybe now is it has its grown old. I think Comer, if it's still alive, I hope so. It is very recognized professor, and the book is good study, but not to connect the dots. And that's every time I'm suggesting to learn from the original publication, because the quality and the experience of learning is completely different of how everything is designed, how everything is and the touch of the pages and everything is you don't lose your mind and interest about the matter when you're learning of good quality book. This is in Italy was required the Italian. After that, I bought this. And after that, I bought the same. But this is the international Indian version. And with the quality much lower. And the quality of the paper is rough, absolutely not good experience, and you lose interest when you reading badly done book, badly produced, basically. I was in London, I had to rebuy different books again, and so basically the same edition I have three times in Italian and in English. That is not the only one books. I have maybe 10 books in triple version all around. The most important that I had to rebuy when I was away, and I didn't had possibility to, because in the luggage this thing will cost significant amount. You cannot, and every time that I have traveled for Cisco Live in America and for VMware, I came with another luggage, 20 kilos, with 10 more books, because they usually were with very high discount there and the new editions, and I have always bought on all the conferences a lot of books. The second, and this is the another edition book about internet. At the time, it is still relevant for most of the arguments. It is probably that there is another edition, Computer Network and Internet, Douglas Comer, always Douglas. And it is easygoing book that I prefer for the introduction instead of the other brick that you will get confused at the maximum level. This is good book, a pleasure to read, but it is the very beginning, before CCNA, the very start. In the university, I have seen university in America and Italy is required this book. I hate this book. Computer Networking, 5th edition. Now maybe there is a 6th or 7th. Top-down approach. This is the biggest bullshit of book. It is so hard to connect the dots starting from the top down. There is all the right information, but the way how it is presented at the reverse, it's making my brain suffer a lot. I hated this book. It is good once you know the matter, you will appreciate this book, but not to start with this book. I personally have, with top-down approach, I prefer bottom-up, starting the anchoring about the argument and beginning to develop my knowledge day by day, piece by piece. It is everything, but you cannot start from the top-down. You need to start from the bottom-up. And this is everywhere into the university. This book is better than the commerce book, much better. But even that, this one is not good enough. It is strange way of studying. Top-down approach. Not mine book. I hate it. I have I don't know if 1 or 2 editions. Probably I thrown the oldest one. Top down. In Italy, in most of the universities required. In University of Milan at the time was required the commerce book that is beyond madness. This has much more detailed approach towards TCP/IP and the right, but in the inverted way that you need to start from the from the end and learning backwards. It is crazy stuff. I don't like it, but it is valuable. The absolute Bible in TCP/IP, when you don't know where to start, everyone, everywhere, whatever technology you're studying or learning or approaching, you have to have this book. This is the Bible of the books of networking, TCP/IP, security, everything related to networking. TCP/IP Illustrated Volume 1. You need to have this book absolutely mandatory under your bed night and day and sleep over it. Because this is the best book, even though it is from the late 1990s. Still, it is TCP/IP. The basis is always the same. It is not. There has been improvement. There has been evolutions. But TCP/IP, how it works, is still that way. And this book is the form of art of education, how this work of Stephen's work has been done, with maximum attention on every aspect. Even the paper is like Bible-like. It is pleasure to just to look at the pages. And it is experience and absolutely mandatory to have. It is done with the research and simplification, the extraction of the awareness that only a person with very high knowledge is able to produce. And this is excellent book. Everyone needs to have. The Absolute Bible in TCP/IP. TCP/IP Illustrated Volume 1. This is the original one. I have this edition. And I have the second edition that is Richard Stevens has passed away maybe 15, 20 years ago. When this book was developed, it wasn't with Richard Stevens, even though it is Richard Stevens. They have taken its work, have edited a lot of stuff, deleted a lot of stuff, inserted a lot of new stuff, but the quality and the awareness extraction is missing in respect of how the original. I will suggest everyone needs to have the volume 1 and the second edition to add the new thing, new technologies, new development. And it is starting with Wireshark. That Wireshark will slower your development of TCP/IP. If you start to learn TCP/IP, don't start with Wireshark. You will go as when you use artificial intelligence. You will think that you know things, but you are passing only the cards. You don't even look at what you have with Wireshark. You don't know what you're watching to. You need to learn step by step. It is a significant chunk of material. Forget about that you will learn for real TCP/IP for any kind of certification without having it done for years and stepping forward, stepping back to see and after a while you return on the material and you see that you have another level of awareness. The picture has been with more dots connected, and you can consider much higher level of interaction. Everything is that way in every aspect, on every matter, everything that you learn is the same way. You go against the wall of learning and you need to step back and make a side movement in order to open your mind, and you need to saturate your mind with information, with knowledge, even though at the beginning it's very hard that you do not comprehend and understand what this actually is, and it looks so impenetrable as comprehension, but all of a sudden the dots has been connected but your mind in the background and you understand everything, and this is only as a muscle that you're building. At certain point you get strong. The same with knowledge. At certain point you just understand that you know, because the intuition is able to enter into the game and connect the dots on your behind. And it is very good book, but not the quality as the original. I have never loved this edition. It is normal book with a lot of stuff. You have to have it, but not the magic of the first edition and the work of art of Richard Stevens, TCP/IP. Before the second edition, there was this of Walter Goralski that self-proclaimed second edition without being authorized or anything related. But was the substitution of the original actual, the illustrated network. And it is done very well with the same meticulous work, attention on the details, everything. I prefer this edition instead of the second edition. This is very good work done and absolutely need to have. Now, I don't know if there is another one. Let's see. This is from 2000. No, this is from 2017. And it is very well done. Absolutely, the principle of development. It has been the guideline of the Stevens first edition, volume 1, because the Stevens books is three editions, three volumes that I'm having there. There for developers, different aspects on TCP/IP. Under Unix, the development of the TCP, the stacks and everything, very complicated for developers. And this is for the TCP as a protocol. And if you love to have the books, taking the 3 volumes is only high value for you. With the same methodology doing the graphics, with the same cure, with the same principle. At the beginning, you have the architecture, what we'll be using during the book, and after that, with extreme cure and every detail, this will give you a boost, very big boost on comprehension. Some aspects in the so-called cloud society that no one knows anything except the bullshit of the marketing of the big tech that is saying everything costs less, but we always all together is becoming poorer and poorer, and we need to extract all the money of the world to give them. This is the technology behind. And if you know exactly what TCP and every other protocol, how they interacting, there is no vendor that will manipulate you by saying the firewalls have evolved. They're always the same, mixing and matching the marketing BS with the new stuff. They are doing the same thing. And good book, one of the best of the best. You have to have the Bible of TCP, and probably this one, and probably the second edition. This is the second edition of the Stevens books that I bought in London because I needed to refresh things for a project there in Infosys. I bought it urgently. And the Indian books are with very bad quality, and it's not good experience to learn from. Pages are yellow, very bad quality, very different. After 40 years, when you reach 40 years, I'm still able to read very near from here because I cannot see further. And so I've been fortunate basically to still being able to read. But with the years, the issue that you need to learn is that you begin to struggle to read the books because your eyes getting tired. This is only the limit, because this is written very small, so small. I can read it, but you don't have the experience, the learning experience that is giving you the propulsion to go forward and deep dive with badly produced book. Instead, you get this, and it is pleasure to read. even though it is little. But the contrast, the everything how it's structured, it is years further. Another excellent book is this one, Bekros Borozan. This is, I'm giving it at the same level. This one, I'm giving it at the same level as this one, Evolved Edition. It is as it was an evolved edition of the Stevens books. Very high quality, absolutely very high value. This is heavy. This is gold. That's why it's heavy. Very good. This international student is not sold in North America. This is done in excellent way. It is pleasure to read. Look how good is done. Very, very, very super duper good book. Interesting, well presented, structured, logical, intelligent, deep dive, step by step, bottom up, not top down. It is. This book has a couple of chapters that what is the reality about the TCP/IP books as in any matter. No one has the full representation. There is not the best book. They are the best Bibles, the best of the best. But unfortunately, there is not yet done one singular book with all the dots all together that is the extracted the awareness and the development. That's why you need multiple books, big like this one, in order to arrive to very good understanding of how the TCP and any other matter, how is done. This is how the process, the sliding windows, the acknowledgement. When you see this elaboration visually, with the visualization, there is no interpretation here. It is so well done that it is a mental pleasure to see and realize how it's done. It is extremely, extremely, extremely. It is. I am getting in ecstasy when I read this kind of books and acquiring this kind of knowledge that is holistic with the deep awareness. And this book is one of those. Absolutely to have together with Stevens and other. This is one of the best of the best. So my list is the best of the best. There is no, there are no bad books there. The other person that has contributed to the community and development of knowledge and TCP/IP I'm just need to rearrange here. Laura Chappell. I'm searching here. This is the 3rd edition. This is the 4th edition. this book is done so well that the third and the fourth edition looks like different books, and there is nothing to be skipped on both of them because it is done very, 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 very super well. This book needs to have. And Laura is able to describe the multiplexing and demultiplexing end to end, troubleshooting, use cases of troubleshooting as no one. Absolutely. This is a little bit more old. The fourth edition, you can skip eventually this, or if you can download or buy low cost electronic edition just to skim and see the differences and integrate. The fourth edition is very a must. This one. This is with more authors integrated, with more stuff. Buy directly the fourth. Eventually review the third. How I'm guide to TCP/IP. Very good. Everything produced by Laura Chappell is golden. She's the founder of Wireshark University. Those books about the Wireshark certification were written by her. Those books are extremely valuable. Use cases of troubleshooting, understanding issues, optimizations by using Wireshark with the context of the knowledge of the TCP/IP. There are a couple of volumes. After that, I have the first edition, this one. The second edition, and there is always a value to have all the editions because nothing to be thrown away. There is only integration because the things of the first edition after that usually is missing, and it is important to understand how the things have evolved and the new one with the expansions. And this is very, 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 very valuable. Let me see those. This one. This is that I'm having now in my hand. And there is another one that I didn't bought it because at the time, I probably had it in electronic, and after that, from 2016, I have invested, let's say, without exaggeration, more than 50,000 euros in 10-15 years in books. If you subscribe to Orelli Books, the subscription per year is 4,050 euros. 450 euros, pardon. Let's say. You have all the access to all those books and much more. All the technology books, you have it. Directly, you do the research, it is giving you all the chapters related to the argument. It is much higher value direct when you do research and development. What is the issue with the electronic books? You cannot learn in the same way from electronic books. Forget about to learn from electronic books, PDF, or whatever. There is no the sequential reasoning way. You cannot. I personally cannot learn from, because you are constantly losing references. You are swapping here and there, and you find the things that you need at the moment, but you don't learn consistently the big picture from electronic books. This is my conclusion, because I've been in this world for 50, how old am I? 56 years. And I can guarantee you, you cannot learn the same way with the quality and pleasure and consistency as with the paper book. It's not possible. And the companies that are doing analysis of the market, they are printing tons of articles exactly for this reason. You can never do, it is not possible, feasible to do the research consistently from the PDF, from the electronic version. You need the sequential order. You need to go see it is how the mind, our minds, is done to learn. Otherwise, you pointing to AI and you are emulating the knowledge without having even, let's say, you're doing the research about things. It is giving it 80% of the time. It is there are fundamental errors of the context and matching of the arguments, giving you, even though it is elaborated, basically wrong and answer, or with the completely out of place context of the awareness, without awareness. So you don't learn with AI. You are producing noise. You need those kind of books if you want to learn. And this is very, 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 very good. Very good. You start with Wireshark once you reach the level of awareness of how the protocol is working. If you start with this, with Wireshark, you will never be able to learn TCP/IP for real. Never. Other, I have maybe 6 volumes of the excellent book that has been evolved during the years from related to Windows, but it is in consistent way related to TCP/IP. The presentation is excellent, really well done, holistic, dimensional, and I'm suggesting anyone that can get whatever edition might be, the oldest one or the newest one. The presentation is the same. During the years has only expanded the new arguments, but the presentation, the dimensional way of reasoning and explanation has been consistent during all the years. Let me show you. Those 4 volumes, but there are even more. It has been started with originally, this is in Italian. There was on TechNet published the free version with different title, but the content was absolutely the same. This is related to Windows without the register keys and everything, but with the presentation of the TCP/IP in mega integrated way, holistic, dimensional, integrated, encapsulation, everything. It is a pleasure to read and understand. This was started with 2000. The same book that is improving. After that, 2008. What this is valid even today. Absolutely 95% of this is still, let's say, 100% is valid even today. Absolutely. From 2008, Windows TCP protocols and services. After that, the same book is evolving with the expansion of IP version 6 that has been evolved during the years. The same presentation with the context of version 4 and 6. After that, the new edition with server 2012. Joseph Davis. Very, very, very exceptionally good book. Magic. This is one, if you can put your hand on, get one. Let's see if there is a new edition. Probably. No. I have no idea. You need to do the research, but this is absolutely one that will help you enormously with the understanding. What I love of the, because this is the excellence of the awareness. When you have those dimensional representations, preamble, start delimiter, frame control, you have the frame in that way that you, once you understand, match, and can do the dimensional, three-dimensional model, mental model, you will never forget it. You will be always capable. You can forget the to access immediately to the things and recall the things. But once you have it this in half a day, you will regain the thing that you have invested years for. You never lose it completely. It is like a muscle. You know how you can build it, but if you don't use it, you lose it. But you never start from the start, the very start again. You start from the awareness. You start from the pointer, from the methodology, and the big picture. After that, you go down. This is absolutely valid, super valid. Changing a little bit. I will, I'm curious today. I'm just a little pause, 2 minutes. Today, I have still including my digital sound processor, and I have included more that this effect. I'm curious just to see how is the effect of the space sound, massive, present, full space, like my room light that is doing the same effect as the daily light inside the studio. This space is audio space, dimensional vision. And this is my inclusion. I want to open here. What I have done from the other day, I have improved. Let me reset. I have done without the music today. I'm so inside my head with this dimensional sound that I can do it without the music. So I have boosted a little bit more this. If I disable this, I'm like a flat screen on the front of the monitor. And this is the spacey one that is expanding the. You perceive the dimension of the space, and it is only this background that this element is this, that is the dimensional way of the DSP that has been improved at the higher level. And this is only the microphone without, but both together is the magic. Okay, let's return to the beauty of the knowledge. I have few books that are considered general knowledge, but always with very high value. I will do a little bit quicker here to Paul Alqubit's DNS and Bind. DNS, deep dive into the DNS that I have done specific deep dive filters on Cisco ASA, say how it's Cisco ASA. Reverse, once you have the knowledge and the awareness, your creativity is working for you. You can elaborate security and solutions that no certification can give you. But the struggle with the specific problem, specific project, the development of the project and the solution, and link it to the specific capability of budget and technology and products. This is the actual knowledge and the value that you give to the market and with your job. DNS and Bind. Network Warrior, the 2 editions. Everything you need to know that wasn't on the CCNA exam. This is the expanded version of the actual issues, actual solutions, and this is very high level of value once you have the awareness that gives you permits you to raise the bar on the solutions. They're very big, heavy, and the second edition is more than enough. Or if there is other, I haven't checked recently. If you have O'Reilly subscription, all those books are accessible directly online, and you can research back and forward on chapters and everyone. Absolutely to have. Network Warrior, the DNS, Internet Core Protocols, definitive guide. This is general representation of protocols, of solutions. It will give you a value when you start. But all my previous books about TCP, the best of the best, those that you need to have. This is general stuff, but it has its place. I have learned a lot on those. On TCP, I want to close here with TCP. About CCIE exam, and once you want to respect yourself, to raise the bar more and more, you have to have those two volumes, volume 1 and volume 2, about routing TCP/IP from Cisco. Those are super heavy, super tough, with a lot of things that we learn, but as everything related with TCP, forget to do it in a month, in a two. You need few years of daily eating the material. Must to have. Let's switch to Ethernet. Ethernet is very important to understand completely the integration of the network. The Stevens books Illustrated Network was the absolute Bible about the TCP/IP. The absolute Bible about the Ethernet is the switch book from Rich Seifert. The first edition is the switch book. The second edition is the all new switch book. They're not very different. You can perfectly buy only the second edition. It is only a standard version. You don't miss anything from the first one. You can only buy this. They are very big books, but fortunately the paper is very light, and they are like nothing. You can do whatever you want with those. You can read and manage it perfectly because it is not heavy. This is the very basic of Ethernet that is working still today in absolute the same way, which is the emulation of the original version of the Ethernet. Whatever mega switch is now, at its core is the emulation of the original version. And it is a pleasure, real pleasure to understand, to learn, to improve. It is 2009 that I bought it. Very, yes, the paper became yellow of what I have struggled with those books. Absolute must to have. The Bibles of the Ethernet. The Switch book, the first edition, the all new Switch book, the second edition. The second edition is the same content of the first plus a little bit more. You can perfectly have only the second. And will be good. Where is those two? And it is cost nothing anymore. You have to invest in those paper, the paper one. The all new is 85, but it is it costs its money. This the author has been involved on development of the Ethernet by itself. Very valuable. The other book that you have to have if you want to improve the understanding of Ethernet, I recommend this Network Maintenance Troubleshooting Guide. It is very old already, but not as a content. It is always green field, this one. And which one I need to, this one. Network Maintenance Troubleshooting Guide. It is very well done with everything, the development of the very basic signals, how it's treated, how the signal of the Ethernet is managed with big Indian, little Indian that you can, but it is the essence of how it works, how the addressing address has been optimized, starting from the order bit orders that is different from the TCP/IP, and how plus the encapsulation there is the translation of the bit orders, and you can only see and understand in those books. In order to understand the big picture, little picture, and the Pandora box of the Pandora boxes. This book is priceless. Absolute have to have. Network Maintenance Troubleshooting Guide. Field tested solution for everyday problems. Second edition, Neil Allen. Very valuable, very good. You will become a monster of Ethernet with this book, as I have became. There is no other edition, what I have seen here. But this is very valuable book. Neil Allen, if I'm reading it correctly. Must have. Ethernet. The last two books that I'm presenting are always about Ethernet. They are very excellent, well done books. Two editions of the same books. Ethernet, the Definite Guide, edition 1 and 2. Get the edition 2. It is absolutely complete in every aspect. Ethernet, very well done since the inception of the history of the there is even 400 gigabit. It is Ethernet is evolving, but the baseline is always the same. And you can integrate with other, if you I'm suggesting, if you have budget, absolutely to subscribe to O'Reilly Learning, that you have all those books, and you can learn without stop. I bought it in 2014. Ethernet, the Definite Guide 1 and 2. They are basically the same. Absolutely good stuff. And for the third time, I have presented my absolute best books on Ethernet and TCP/IP, with a lot of addendum about myself, about the project, about the failures, about persistence, about resilience, about going forward. Whatever it happens, happens. Never surrender, never back off. And the last book that has been used is SEMrush Marketing. I will not present this. Excellent stuff. It's been a pleasure. I have everything here under control. Let me check if my recording is there. My file is here, I hope. And from now forward, I will repeat what was the origin of those series about tech. My tech pillar. Tech pillar intended as a content creation tech pillar. My original project that with the energy of the first video you have seen, you can explain that I've been drained to the ground for years. And my video content creation and video production, I have invested the impossible that I didn't had possibility to do, and I have improved it anyways. The original idea was to do the content pillar with 2 master classes. One about TCP/IP with at least 20 episodes that I want to do sooner or later. I don't promise, I want to do it, and I hope to things to stabilize and I return into the human society and being a human and stabilize financially, socially, and everything, and restart on every aspect and produce this that it will take a year maybe or 2 years, but with all the aspects, important aspects, the history of TCP or the history of Ethernet, I have learned and intentionally forgotten immediately. I just don't care about the history or the specifics. Yes, I appreciate everyone that has contributed, but on the knowledge of TCP/IP, you need to concentrate on the aspects of the technology, how they integrated multiplex and multiplexing, encapsulation, fragmentation, every aspect that is a pile of things, and every level is working by itself, integrating with the down level and up level, and it is very interesting. Once you comprehend, you cannot keep inside your mind the vision, three-dimensional visual, always fresh. At least you are not teaching others that you always need this level of detail and exposition. Once you gain it, you will lose a little bit with the time, more and more, but you can never lose the awareness, the knowledge about how to reach immediately with the flags on TCP/IP. In this moment, I do not remember where they are, what was by. I know exactly what the flag is. I can immediately see inside the header, and I need to redo deep dive into all the arguments in all the books and develop one by one of the aspect, not all the material and producing something that is impossible to manage. Doing multiple episodes and more and more and more, going deep dive, not the BS in 30 seconds, just do this. This is pointless. For people that want to develop the knowledge, the awareness, and being actual engineers, you need to invest the time, the attention, the intention, the drive, and research and development. And it costs money, attention, energy, your life, your time, everything. But you reach to the result. And this is my desire, to do 2. I hope to be able. I don't guarantee that when I will do it or if I will be able to do it. I have firm desire and intention to do it, and that's why I'm restarting this presentation of the books to develop my tech pillar enormously with the very valuable deep dive into different aspects of technology. Ethernet deep dive, TCP deep dive, integration between. The SAN technology now is almost I have other 20 books about storage area network with deep dive into the frames. But let's ignore for now. Let's concentrate on this. And this will be, if the things are going forward in the way that I hope and desire and wish that they will be, I will have the mental space, tranquility, and energy to do it in the next year or two. And this is my intention. Go check, there is in the description, go check the list, double check, review into all my social profiles, click like, submit, participate. If you have something related to this, put into the comment. It will be a pleasure to have the discussions and develop together, all together, into all the aspects on technology, broadcast, live production, expression, and everything. And I'm super happy that I have developed it in 2 years with the impossible condition what I've been able to develop, and with the natural expression of freestyle and capacity to speak and video produce with relatively very high quality, in my opinion, even though I have some setback because I need to fragment too much because I have very limited budget during those years and situations, and I had to optimize with what I had. But the level of quality of the video levels of everything optimized, even those from time to time, it is a struggle to manage because once it is much fragmented, it is a nightmare of tweakings. The same as with color accuracy calibration inside DaVinci with the budget level monitors is a nightmare because you need to manage to compensate what is missing, that usually certain grade of development of high level hardware or solutions given you for granted. You need to develop your engineering knowledge and comprehension and awareness in order to integrate it by yourself. And it has been real fun.
Alqubit.
Not yet. I push it here. So it's been a real pleasure. Thank you very much for the attention. We'll see soon again, I hope. Let's go. I'm having some issue with the recording. Let's stop here. Thank you very much. We'll see soon again. Outro. Bye bye.
Alqubit. IT as an expression of art. Alqubit. IT as an expression of art.